there! Sorry, if anyone has been watching my videos and I keep saying I'm gonna update more, but I was away for a couple weeks in Japan, so I haven't had the chance to update anything, even though I've been filming a lot. I didn't bring my computer with me solely because I didn't want to have to constantly be worrying about updating. I just wanted to kind of experience Japan. But I just wanted to kind of give a quick run through of my experience over there, just some of my opinions about things, why I went, etc. So I guess I'll go ahead and start. First off, I'd like to explain why I went. It wasn't actually my first time going to Japan. I went a couple years ago in the summer, I guess it was, with my school on a study abroad trip, and it was a completely different experience going this time compared to when I went before, because before I was in a group, like a group setting with a class, so I was kind of constantly going along with everyone else's schedules, and including my teachers, obviously. So I didn't really get a chance to explore much on my own or do things that I would want to go see or do. I mean, I had fun. I had a lot of fun that time, and it was good being in a group. I think it helped me kind of go out to places that I probably wouldn't have been able to go, and especially because I'm really bad at the language, I just kind of stuck around people that could help me out, and it was a good experience. But this time, I wanted to go on my own, and I actually had intended to go to visit someone that was very important to me at the time, but plans changed and I ended up going with a friend instead, and things worked out pretty well. I think rather than going by myself, I probably would have been really stressed, but it really helps going with someone. You guys can kind of bounce things off of each other or help out each other when you get lost or confused. Neither of us are really good at all at Japanese. I was a little more knowledgeable, but not by much. So the language was really a struggle. I got lazy and didn't study like I had planned to or wanted to. So my suggestion is, if you do plan to go to Japan and you aren't studying, you should definitely study, especially with the katakana. I was overwhelmed by how much katakana there was everywhere. I was not expecting that, actually. I didn't notice before, but it's on menus and signs and everywhere. And so I could sort of read it, but then I wouldn't really know what it said some of the time. So that is my suggestion to you. One other thing I noticed about the language is that surprisingly, many people, when they would speak to me, or, well, no, I guess it was just me, when they would speak to me, they would always start out with, "Do you speak Japanese?" instead of just saying, like, oh, directly going into English, which was my experience before, I think. People would just automatically be like, "Oh, you speak English." But this time they would just ask, "Do you speak Japanese?" And it would catch me off guard sometimes because I would want to say, like, "Oh, a little bit," like, so they could try to talk to me. But honestly, I couldn't respond at all, so I would just say, "Oh yes, English is okay," but try to sort of integrate a little bit of Japanese in there, and that they seem to really appreciate that when you do. Like, oh, they're surprised that you are trying. So it's helpful, I guess. I think that they're very good at trying to help you and trying to understand you. But what I noticed with some of my Asian friends that have gone abroad is that they automatically will just speak Japanese to you, because obviously they just assume if you're Asian, you're Japanese, which I guess would be good if you're like, oh, you want to speak Japanese. But my friend that went with me, he speaks no Japanese at all, so it always caught him off guard when they would speak to him, and he'd be like, oh no, just English, just English. And then they would be so confused, like, what? English? Okay. And so I just thought that was interesting, but I guess that's the same when I went to Paris before. Everyone assumed I spoke French, but I really didn't speak much French. So next, I'd like to talk about the difference between staying at an Airbnb and staying at a hotel, because when I traveled before, I stayed at multiple hotels, but this time I stayed in Airbnbs, so it was like people's apartments that we were renting basically. And I really think it's nice. It's nice staying in an apartment like that because then you're basically integrating yourself into the culture. Um, we stayed in a studio apartment and it was kind of just like you're just living there and it's really peaceful. You get to experience that way of life. Um, we had a nice view for the first one that we stayed at, overlooking the skyline. But the second one, it was not so great in my opinion. It was, I mean, usable. Obviously, we were staying in a house. We had a beds. But I would definitely recommend using Airbnb if you haven't or you were just considering it. It's becoming more popular nowadays, I think, for people to do that instead of hotels. For one thing, it's cheaper, but another thing, it's more interesting that way, to be living somewhere. And hotels can be kind of cramped, even more so than someone's apartment. Get it focused. Okay. So for the videos that I was shooting while I was over there, I decided to go for more of a just like walkthrough approach, just holding the camera the whole time and kind of walking. I didn't really feel like involving myself too much in the video, like speaking throughout it. I just really wasn't in the right state of mind most of the time, emotionally, to be on the camera. But I felt that by holding it and kind of taking it with me everywhere I went, that I could still involve those of my friends and family that would want to see where I had been and what I was doing. And also it's something for me to look back on instead of seeing my face the whole time and just kind of follow up through where I had been going. I do show up a little bit in my videos. I mean, I wouldn't want to make it too impersonal, but I just decided to keep it simple like that. And over the course of probably the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be editing my videos. I already uploaded one, but I'm going to try to keep up with editing the rest of them. And then I also will do some like haul videos, I guess. I got a couple things, you know. Obviously, you're traveling, you're going to want to buy things, especially in Japan. So I'll upload some of those, and I guess I'll just, no, what am I trying to say? So look forward to that, I guess. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.